Good morning, I'm Eric Wallen, Compliance Assistant Specialist, OSHA Region 8, and I'm here today to talk about confined space entry with some professionals in the agriculture industry.
I'm Beth Locken, Director of Safety and Environmental for Agtegra Cooperative, based out of Aberdeen, South Dakota.
I'm Trevor Keating, Safety Director for Prairie Ag Partners out of Lake Preston, South Dakota.
I'm Chuck Lemon, Grain Supervisor here at Andover, Agtegra.
Thank you, everybody. So what you're going to see here in the next 20 minutes, you're going to witness the procedures for a confined space entry permit and what they have to do before they can enter a bin, and the procedures for once they get out of the bin. So thank you.
Hey Chuck.
Beth?
So per morning huddle this morning about having to get in and check the sweep in bin 30, I did go ahead, I've got everything locked out and ready to go. And then we did check it on the PLC here to make sure that nothing will run. So I think whenever you're ready, we should be ready to go into bin 30 and get that checked.
All right, we'll have to fill out the bin permit, the confined space permit, to begin entry. We'll have to go through this.
Sure. So I'll be the entrant. I'm the one that put the locks on everything. I've got my tags on out there and I've got the keys in my pocket. So we're gonna check the bin sweep. Okay. Remind me, I know you checked the sweep to see how many times it's been around. Just for my own knowledge, how much grain is in there, or did you see anything concerning when you looked in there?
No, there's nothing. The sweep has gone around a couple of times. There's just a small layer on the floor. There's really no hazards left.
Okay.
We should be safe to go in and do what we need to do.
Okay. Do we have I'll put the grates in the sumps when I get in there, so I can't step in any of those.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. We'll monitor the air when we get out there. So I'll wait with checking those off until we get out there. I've checked all of my equipment. The harness is in good shape. That tag line that you just got us, that's brand new. So the anchor strap for all of that's good. So I'll just carry the bag out there as we go out there to get everything hooked up. I'll grab a flashlight. We still have those approved Class 2, Group G flashlights, those intrinsically, those new ones you guys just got us, that was really good. And then I'll take my radio out there as well.
Yep.
And then we've locked out, I can go out there and show you, but we've locked out the fill gate, the reclaim gate, and then the sweep and the power to the sweep.
Yeah.
So per the lockout takeout forms, that was everything that was listed in there to be locked out. And then, did you send that email to the safety department?
Yes, I did. We have a reply that the department's been notified.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so if you wouldn't mind checking those off since you're the entry supervisor on this, and then we'll go out and check the air, yep, and get all suited up, and I'll sign off as the entrant. And Trevor said that he'd be my attendant.
All right, that's good. All right, we'll need a couple of signatures for the entrant and the attendant,
Okay.
and then we can continue on to do the air quality test.
Trevor, can I have you sign as my attendant?
Sure can.
All right, on to the next thing. Go.
Hey Trevor, isn't getting this on, can you make sure my D-ring's right?
Yeah. Yeah, we're centered to that, yeah. Right between your shoulder blades there,
Alright, good.
cinched up.
Got my,
No straps are twisted or anything.
okay,
Things
thank
are looking
you.
good there.
Alright, I'll tighten up a little more here, get my leg straps tight. Alright,
Good to go? All right, I got the lifeline.
alright, perfect, thanks. Alright, so I didn't get a chance to check the sweep auger down there because I just locked it out. So I'll verify the lockout tag out here and the tractor pump. Neither of those would work. So I think we're ready to check the air. Chuck, I can grab the readings if you want to write them down. We'll start with our fresh air readings. Oxygen is 20.8. Yep. Carbon monoxide is 0. Combustible 0. H2S 0. So when we check the air, we always want to check it at multiple spots in the bin, just to make sure that the air quality is the same or good throughout, right in that 19.5 to 23.5 range. Normal ambient oxygen is typically 20.7 or 20.9. Today we're reading 20.8. We always want to get a fresh air reading outside of the bin so we know what our sensors are sitting at after they've gone through a daily bump test or a monthly calibration as required. So I'll start with this 6-foot telescoping wand. That's nice to have so we can make sure that we get a true reading without having to break the plane of the confined space. And based on the length of your tubing between the wand and your air monitor, that will also indicate how long you have to wait before you take a reading. We have a pretty short tubing here, so I will only need to wait about a minute before I'm comfortable with the results of the air monitor. Trevor, our oxygen is 20.8.
Okay.
Carbon monoxide 0.
Okay.
Combustible atmosphere 0.
Okay.
Hydrogen sulfide 0.
Okay, got it.
Right. Now that I've got the actual results, I can take the telescoping wand off. And since this air monitor has a pump that pulls the air through the inlet, this is called an active monitor. A passive monitor would not have this pump that would actively pull the air through. So for our confined space entries, we do all active monitoring and we do continuous monitoring, meaning the person inside of the space will always wear the monitor. So this is a bin that's 135 foot in diameter. So the air could change from the entrance of the bin to the outer ring of the bin depending upon the conditions inside of the bin. Since we're just checking the sweep in this bin, this is good quality corn and we haven't had any issues with it. This is this harvest corn that we're putting through the bin. So I'll go ahead and clip this on my harness so we can get continuous air monitoring.
Next is your go.
Alright, Beth, I'll get a tag line set up on one of these beams here, so that way we've got a good anchor point.
So, Trevor, remind me why you picked that beam and not this railing?
I picked that beam because we need an anchor point that can withstand 5,000 pounds of pressure. The railing only needs to withstand 200 pounds of pressure in either direction, and that's just not going to be enough to be used as an anchor point. So we picked the earthiest thing that we know that can basically hold up a full-size pickup, and it's the best option that we have in this case.
So if I didn't have this structure here, could I use that SUV over there if it's got closed tow hooks?
Yep, we could do that. We'd want to make sure that we don't, that of course, yes, that we lock and tag the vehicle out by pulling the keys, putting them in the attendant's pocket, and making sure that that we're not compromising the rope coming up over the railing. So we'd want to use a rope guard if we needed to in certain cases, but in a pinch we can use that. Otherwise, I do like to use stationary targets that we don't have to worry about locking and tagging out.
Okay, and I think I saw one of those canvases, those edge protectors like you were talking about. I do think that we have that.
Yeah, we do have a rope protector here. You run the rope through this, set it over the edge. Rope runs through here like a sleeve. That'll help protect the rope from going over any kind of abrasive edge, so that way we don't ruin the rope or compromise the integrity of it. But in this case, we should be good with anchoring up over here without the protector.
So Trevor, what is this? What is that red thing on that rope? What is that?
So right here we have it's a prusik line or a prusik knot that's used on the rope, and it wraps around the rope in a certain way that provides friction. So pulling on the rope creates a lock or a brake line, but then just applying your pressure to the prusik knot, you can easily slide the rope through it and move it for adjustments. It's a very easy, cheap way to create a brake line.
Is there something that I need to make sure I check also on my carabiner before I go in?
Yes, depending on the style of carabiner that you have. Some of them are a twist lock, and this one you have to screw it shut to lock it in place to make sure that it doesn't prematurely open. But depending on what type of equipment you have, just familiarize yourself with it prior to using. But otherwise, we should be good to go. We'll tag line you up to your D-ring on your back here. And again, making sure that we screw that carabiner shut so that way it's locked. Test it. The knot looks good. That's attached to the carabiner. And you are good to go, and and you got your air monitor on you?
Got my air monitor.
Okay, your radio's on you?
Check. I'm just getting ready to get into bin 30.
Alright, so we got radio communication, got your intrinsically safe light, we were good to go. We'll keep giving you a slack as you go in.
And the entrance.
Got Beth Locken is the entrance, and Trevor is the attendant.
Okay, everything looks good. I'll be coming back out.
So now that we have everything out of the space and the lockout tagout's been released, we can go ahead and the entry supervisor will close out the confined space permit, and we'll put all this paperwork together between the lockout tagout checklist, the approval, and the entry permit. We'll staple it all together, and then we'll put it on, we'll keep it on file for a year at the facility.
All right.
Thank you. So depending upon what type of harness that you utilize, at some spot on the harness will be pretty much a ledger for you to date who inspected the harness and if it was in okay condition. This should be done on a routine basis, and you've got a little graph here of everything that you should be taking a look at. So between the straps that go over the shoulders, your waist straps, and then the straps that go around your legs. So there's different components to all the pieces of the harness. And again, these should be checked on a routine basis and documented, as well as a daily visual check prior to each use every time.
And then we also have Lifeline. In this bag here, we have a bag to put the harness in for storage. And we have our rope guard. Again, this opens up and the rope can run right through there over rough edges to help save the life of the rope. Some cases may have a lock and tag in there for lockout tagout. This one will have an anchor strap, carabiner, and then a prusik cord. And again, the prusik cord, by pulling on it, it creates friction on the rope and prevents it from slipping down the rope. But then you can quickly adjust it just by pushing on the backside of the knot in either direction. Make sure you're using a good knot. Looks like they got a figure 8 knot here, holding the carabiner on the end. That would go up to your D-ring on the backside of your harness. And again, familiarize yourself with all your equipment prior to using it. Practice with it, and just make sure that you use it.
So today, we went through a confined space entry procedure. For us, this is a permit-required confined space. The beginning of the process was identifying the need to go inside of the bin, and we assessed the situation and determined that we did in fact have to enter the bin to perform the tasks that we needed to. So we received approval for this process. We locked out equipment that was associated with anything that would be energized inside of the bin. So we locked that all out, verified that it was indeed locked out. Then we started the initial process of completing the paperwork. We got the air monitor ready so we could make sure that the air was in good condition. We got our tagline bag with the harness available. We got all those items ready, and we went straight out to the bin and started the process there.
Yeah, and prior to going in, of course, making sure that we test the atmosphere prior to going into the bin, visual assessment of the confined space, equipment check, and any other form of communication. Again, always follow your standard operating procedures of your facility, and make sure you double check, cover all your bases. And yes, did all that, had a safe, successful entry, and just keep practicing, keep doing it every day.